Hi everyone, and welcome to Management Information Systems Module 10. We're going to talk about customizing charts. You can perform the customizing charts by customizing data series, change of the data source and the chart type, add elements, formatting the chart axis, creating a combination chart, enhancing a chart, using sparklines to summarize the data, and identifying data trends. So a data series is a sequence of values that are used to plot a chart. You can change those by changing the appearance or highlighting them. To do that, you double click on the chart's data series and then you drag the gap or the width or the depth slider in the Format Data Series pane. So here's an example of a chart comparing regional sales, and you can actually make changes to this chart by enhancing the size, changing how it looks in the data series area or in the elements area. You can also change a data source and a chart style. To change the data view, you click on the Switch Row Column button in the Data group on the Chart Tool Design tab. To change the data series range, you drag the lower right-hand corner of the data border. With the chart that's selected, click the Chart Styles button to choose from the gallery. So let's take a look here. Here's an example of some data that's been put into a series of data. So you have the Australia, New Zealand, and Asia. That's an example of what a series would look like. You can also add chart elements. You can do that by going to the by adding or removing elements. You can go to the data table, and the grid line containing the chart data is attached at the bottom. And the data labels are something that display a series of values. You can right-click on those and delete them, or you can add them as well. Here's an example of chart elements. This is where you add the chart elements via the WYSIWYG tool, and that's how you would add chart elements. You can only delete chart elements with that right click. In order to add them, you have to go to the charts elements area and check them as being something that you will be using. You can format legends by using a fill, a border, a color, shadow. You click on the chart elements button and point to the legend, click on the legend list arrow, and then you have more options in order to do those things. So let's talk about how to format a chart axis. When we talk about a plot area, it's defined by the axis. So the value of the axis is the vertical or the y-axis, and that is just values like dollars and cents or numbers. The horizontal or the x-axis is for categories, and the scale is the interval that you use for the value axis in a data series. So here's an example of a chart that's formatted with the X and Y axis. This is the X and Y axis is the entire plotted area. The X axis, of course, is, oops, let me go back here. The X axis, of course, has the categories here, and then the Y axis has the values in it. So you can get a good idea of what I mean by that. You can also combine charts and create a combination chart. So it can be helpful when you have different data types. You want to emphasize a certain data type. To do that, you click on Change Chart Type, and then you click on the combo in the dialog box and select a chart type like clustered column. And then for another one, you might select a line data item, but what you're doing is you're actually combining those charts. Here's an example of a combined chart. Pretty cool. You can also add word art. What word art is a pre-formatted shape or object that you can use. And to do that, you click on the Chart Tools Format tab, click on the More buttons, and then Word Art Styles. It can enhance the chart by adding shape and style. So here's an example of a chart with a shape added to it, and it really kind of enhances the chart or puts definition in the areas that you want to put definition in. So there are many different kinds of chart types. There's waterfall, histogram, etc. I'd suggest that you highlight your chart and take a look at each one of these charts. It's very helpful when you're choosing the kind of chart that you want to use. There's also a thing called spark lines. Those are little miniature charts, and those can be added to the side of your information. They usually will show data trends or maximum and minimum values. They're also a great visual tool to add. But again, these are called spark lines. There's also something called a trend line. So a good example might be you may be plotting the healthcare expense, and the healthcare expense has continued to go up. That would be a trend, and you can enhance it by creating a trend line. There's a linear trend line, which is a straight line. There's exponential, which is a curved line. And then there's a polynomial, which is a line that changes direction. So here's an example of just a straight line trend, and you can see it adds that dotted line, and it enhances the chart by showing you that there's an upward trend. I will see you in the next module.